Hello, beautiful souls. Happy Thursday. So, today I am having a put the world down day and pick myself up day. So, I have planned a lot of self care stuff, which is going to feel amazing because I've been feeling so drained lately with all of this crazy energy happening. If you follow me on here, like I might have talked about it before, and I've definitely talked about being an empath, but also I'm obsessed with like astrology and the moon, and it has a tremendous effect on us. So we'll talk about that in a later video, but today I want to talk about healing and what it means to heal and start a journey and what it kind of looks like, and I guess like what the definition of health should look like. So, most people start a healing journey and then they dip off because they're like, yeah, I'm good. Like, things are going really great in my life. I'm on cloud nine. Like, I'm so happy. Blah, 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 blah. But then what happens is because they've stopped their self-care regimen or because they've stopped different processes of the healing, life happens and life gets in the way, and then they end up not back to where they were, because you're never going to be truly back to where you are. Like, life is always in a constant state of flow, but it's going to feel like they're back to that state. So as we start to heal, it's not really rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. I wish I could say it is, but it's not. However, it is 100% worth it. So as you start to heal, you start to have a more positive mindset because you're creating more awareness in your everyday life. You're changing your outlook on things because you're constantly going inward and feeling through things. Your intuition or your spiritual capabilities start to become on a high. Maybe you become more visual, maybe you become more auditory. You start connecting to life on a completely different level, and because of this, you see life at a completely different level. Like, when you look outside, you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is so beautiful, like, everything's so connected. And because of that, you also become more grateful of the things and people and places around you. As you start healing, you also start examining like the people, places, and things around you. And you take this like mental inventory. Like, is this serving me? Is this for my greatest good? Like, is this because I've been living in my ego space or my head space the entire time? Okay, well, is this serving me? Yes, no. And then you start to move some of these things out in your life, or the universe does it for you. Because as you start to shift your awareness, your consciousness, your frequency, things are not going to vibrate with you. So sometimes this does look like arguments or people moving out of your life, and it can be challenging. There's definitely like growing pains with it. However, when you're experiencing those growing pains, it's best to just like dial back in and see where you can surrender a little bit more and return to a space of love. And surrendering allows you to look at the bigger picture of things, to be like, hey, is this person serving my greatest purpose? Like, are they really negative? Like, yeah, they were a really great friend for so long, but is that friendship still serving a greater purpose? And it's not to say like those people won't be in your life at a later date. It's just right now, like, it's not serving you. So definitely to be something to be mindful of. Like, people will leave your life. People are going to challenge you in this new way of thinking that you may have. You're going to irritate them because they're going to be triggered by something within you or something within them for them to work on. It has nothing to do with you. You may become more emotional because you actually start looking at your emotions more and taking ownership of them. So healing looks like taking responsibility for your thoughts, your belief systems, and your emotions. They may be a byproduct of like your growing up, or they may be a byproduct of past lives or ancestral healing, whatever it is. It's not necessarily for you to hold on for the rest of your life, but it is good for you to like start to create awareness and take responsibility for like you are affecting your outcome, your thoughts, your belief systems, your emotions, what you choose to carry on to is affecting your reality. So the more you become aware of it, the more you can take responsibility for it, and the more you can create action around it to say, like, I'm going to put this down now, it's not serving me, or I can work to heal this, or I'm going to get a healing appointment, or whatever it is. So it's important to take note of this stuff. And by healing, you may become more emotional because everything has to come up and out of the body. If it stays in their body, it stays suppressed. So it needs to come up and out. So that also means, like, if you are in chronic pain, your pain might exasperate, but then it should dissipate. So I was working on someone the other day, and her pain got slightly worse, and then I worked on her again, and it dissipated. And it's still there because the triggers and the emotion and everything that is wrapped up in that pain is still very much in her body. So things to be aware of, like, your pain might exasperate and then it often dissipates. Emotions might come up, or you might be going through a really emotional time. You might have some tower moments in your life, which means that everything's crumbling down around you. Relationships are coming down around you. Places, people, things. All of this is actually for your highest good. It's because you're not supposed to be in those areas, or they're not serving you anymore, or things need to come to a head, or you need to learn something from it. So the more you just lean in and surrender and find that place of, like, peace and being in your sovereign nature, it helps you to flow through life a little bit more easily. The other day, I was sitting with a client and we were talking about this, and I told her that she needed to become like a sea cow, which I've never used that expression with a client before, but I was like, I love this. Like, I really truly believe that our job in life is to really ground down and be as sovereign as we can be. And what does that mean? It means life is going to happen around us. Life is going to be incredibly chaotic. Emotions are going to happen. You know, the moon is going to happen if you're really affected by the moon, or astrology, or being an empath. But the most important thing you can do for yourself is really just ground down and be sovereign in your being. Ground down and be discerning. Ground down and be that sea kelp and just kind of like flow with things. Like, things are going to try to move you out of alignment. Things are going to try to distract you. But the more you can ground down in it and find some peace and surrender what needs to be surrendered in those moments, create awareness where it needs to be created, create love and compassion. Like, healing is not easy, and that's exactly why most people don't do it, because it means taking responsibility for yourself and where you are in your life, and a lot of things that are in your body that you may not even be aware of. But it's incredibly rewarding because you find peace. Like, you might go through a lot of like ups and downs and ebbs and flows, but eventually it gets easier and your ebbs and flows get shorter, and you create more space and more awareness and more good and more good vibes, and you start attracting more into your life. You start to feel lighter. You're not necessarily, as worried about the things that you were worried 10, 20, a year ago. You have more peace within yourself and more love for every aspect of yourself. You're good, you're bad, it doesn't matter. You've created love in those moments. And it also health looks like nourishing your body. It doesn't look like being like the perfect size 2 or having all of the bloody muscles in the world. It looks like moving. It looks like eating properly. It looks like drinking water. It looks like creating mindfulness. There is no perfect definition of health because it's constant. I've said this to a bunch of my clients recently too, is like, we could literally go to a healer every single week, and we could spend time doing self-care and healing on ourselves every single day, and there will be something to still be healed by the end of your life, because it's a constant, it's a continuum, and we are a reflection of everyone around us. So as we start to heal, as we start to look in on ourselves, it ripples out to everyone around us. It ripples out to our family, it ripples out to our friends. They start to get affected, they start to vibrate at a different level. It's a beautiful thing, and that's ultimately like how eventually we're going to heal the planet, which is pretty cool in my eyes. So that's kind of my like jumbled little rant for today, all about healing. If you guys have some more questions about it, like there are a ton of things that can happen during the healing process. Weird ascension symptoms come in, weird spiritual symptoms. You can have the spiritual detox like I talked about, and I might have another video about. You may get the spiritual flu, which looks like the flu. You might start getting sicker, on occasion, sicker meaning like more colds, because things are moving out of your body, things that have been stored in your body for a really long time. We don't really pay attention to all of the quadrants of our health. We don't pay attention to the mind, the spirit, the emotion, and the physical aspects of our health as much as we should. It should be at the forefront because it affects all areas of our life, but we don't. And think of how many times like you clean your house in a week or a month. Do you clean your body that many times? Like, are you taking note of where you're storing like emotions in your body? Probably not. So there's a lot to go through, and that's why the healing process can be very rocky at times, but there's always peace and lightness to be found. And I know the clients that have stayed with me for a long time are a true testament of that. And they keep coming back because they have felt the relief. They notice the difference. They notice things shifting in their life in dramatic ways. And it's the most beautiful thing. Anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I adore you all. Like, share, subscribe, enjoy. It's kind of rainy where I am in the world, but rain is a good thing. It helps to purify. See, it's your outlook on life. Check those things out. How you view life around you, right? But try to enjoy some of your surroundings or do something nice for someone today. Bye, guys.